Yeah, what's going on, boys and girls, ladies and gents? Welcome back. Glad you made it to another social production. We're doing it on Wednesday, March the 1st, 2023. Welcome back, Papi, Mommy, moms, dads, but also like my chicos, my chicas, my seniors and senoritas. Oh man, welcome back everybody. We're beginning a new month. It is a new month. I'm excited. Wherever you are, I hope you are feeling good. I hope you're feeling fresh. I hope you're as excited as I am about the new month. Because new months are like new beginnings, much like every day, which is a new beginning, and it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter with a new twist. And I'm excited to be back here again with you guys and girls, ladies and gents. If you're joining me, if it's your first time, welcome to the show. Buckle up, buckle down. You're like, what is this? A show about everything and nothing. We talk about fun stuff. We tickle each other from afar and from a near. And that's what we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram. Check it out. Follow me there if you like. Subscribe on the YouTube channels. Help the old algorithm out if you will, if you can, if you like. And you're like, man, is there anywhere else where we could check it out and also give back a little bit as well? If you're into that kind of thing, if that's your thing, whatever floats your boat, sir, ma'am. Patreon.com/RobSadri. Check it out. Talk about it with your family, friends. And there's tons of videos for you to check out. And we come here every week and we take care of business. And we do it together. Let me get a sip of this bad boy right here. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, lots of exciting events are always happening. We talk about, of course, the silly stuff, the serious, and then we mix it up with the silliness and the seriousness and it's always a mixed bag. You never know where it's gonna go. You never know. You never know when you. It's like it's very unpredictable. Anything can happen. So, not too unpredictable. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be like, whoa, what is going? It's unpredictable fun, not like not the sort of unpredictable scenario where, let's say, it's not unpredictable as in, it's not unpredictable. What I'm trying to say is that this isn't like, it won't end up like, it's not like if you work with the Clintons, let's say you're an aide of the Clinton family. It's not unpredictable in that sense where, where things might go sour and the next thing whoa, what happened last November? Another Clinton aide just happens to commits the suicides. What's up with? So it's not unpredictable in that sense, where where you're like living your life, and then next thing you're a man with a family, and then they find your body. You texted your wife saying goodbyes and all, and that it's weird. And then you find when it happens, they say no weapons were found, but this fella apparently, he shot himself and then hung himself simultaneously, so it's not unpredictable like that. But we have fun. Doesn't mean that we can't have fun. And then at first there were like no weapons were found at the scene, and then as of late I just read something that followed up with the particular aide of the Clinton family, of the Clintons, of Bill, and the other pantsuit wearing one. So yeah, that's, man, just keeps piling up. I'm just saying. So it's not unpredictable. You're like, what kind of unpredictability are we getting ourselves into? Not that sort of unpredictable. It's just about fun, just about being there for each other. So I'm here for you. If you need anything via the internets, via you need like an hour every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, to just like relax, sit back, hear a couple of stories, see your boy grapple with a couple of ideas, get pinned, and then pin an idea. Oh man, these ideas are good. And then you get pinned, and then you try to come out of the unpin, and you want to unpin yourself. That's what I try to do sometimes. So that's what we're getting ourselves into. Just fun stuff, amazing stuff. So yeah, in this sense, I just want to be clear. We're not like, it's not unpredictable to the sense where you're like, whoa, there's limits. Know your limits, play within it is always something that I've lived my life by. One of the many great mottos, other mottos that I like to live my life by. Take it one day at a time, literally. Be in the moment, be present. I takes it one day at a time. I gives it one day at a time too. No more, no less. One day at a time, one little teeny tiny baby step at a time. That's what we do around here, ladies and gents. What is the longest world record for the longest held queef. Feel me? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, ladies and gents, how long is the, because I was thinking, there should be some sort of record for the longest queef out there. Who holds the longest queef? Are we talking seconds? Are we talking like, because you're like, how long could it possibly be? And to be honest with you, I don't know, because like once you start counting, and it's all about time, and like 10 seconds is a long time of somebody just queefing. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a long queef. So like, what is the longest queef though? Like, is it 5 seconds? Is it 10 seconds? How long was that? How long was that? Was it 10 seconds, 50? So look, I'm curious to know, because there should be some sort of a sporting event centered around this magnificent bodily function that is, quite frankly, underestimated, undervalued. It's kind of like the underdog of bodily functions. It is, in my opinion, it's not well represented in the overall life that we share and live together. Doesn't get the full recognition, doesn't get the full credit for it, because it's like, farting's fine and all. I'm a huge fan of farts, dude. Farts, ladies, gents, like, you walk and fart, you sit and fart, you'd sleep and fart, those are fine, But the queef is great because it's got the sound, it's got the sound, it's got, depending on your proximity to the unraveling of the occurrence of the queef, there might be some sort of like, there's the sound, there's not much like, there's not much physical, like, I guess it is physical, it's definitely physical, but like there's no after product, there's no scent for the most part, which is great because you get the sound, you get the beauty of the sound, which is like a beautiful horn, like a little trumpet, without the odor and without the spillage, because you never know, people, you age, what was once tight is less tight now, for example. It could happen to the best of us. You might have a little bit of a leakage. Who knows? I'm just like, whatever. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying, who holds the longest record for the longest queef? I would love to. And like, yeah, we should definitely, there should be an award for that. There should be a ribbon at least. There should be some, like, give a tiara. I would, because all these ladies be like, world pageants are held, and like, who can be Miss Universe, for example. Why isn't that in the competition? Longest queef ever, minute and a half of like 90 seconds of queef. Can you actually, ladies out there, because I can't speak from experience, obviously, given the fact that I don't have any fallopian tubes and all that stuff that makes it go to what's up, so I can't be queefing out there. But is there a way where you can control your breathing so you can just continuously queef and just fucking like get what is it? It's next year you perfect the art of long queefs, and then we're going from fall, winter, heading on to spring. You need to do a little bit of yard cleaning, blow out a couple of leaves, buy a queef, which is fantastic, need a little bit of wind behind your sailboat and your sails, queef it up. Have you spread your wings and are attempting to fly? Need a little bit of boost, queef it up. That would be, again, the longest queef. I wonder who holds the world record for that. It's not something that is, it's some of this, and you're like, well, what do we do? That's the, they say the future is female, and you know, I say it's more like the future is like, you know, it's male female. Future is male female. So in order to be able to like maintain a balance, yes, we do have the wonderful queefing competitions that will be, you know, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Maybe it'll start underground queefing competitions, and everybody laughed at us in the beginning. Everybody doubted us. Nobody wanted to show up and put their names on the list. They'd come. There wasn't even a list, to be honest with you. It was just like, hey man, what have you got to lose? What have you got to prove? Where are you willing to take it? How far will you go? How low can you go? What else do you? And that's what. And it all started when we started back in '87. I remember queefing underground. A lot of people didn't talk about it. It was hush hush. Don't talk about it. We said that at the meetings. We're like hush hush. Don't talk about it. We don't want to get the word out because it's you never know. With great power does come great responsibility, and that's why we just wanted to keep it like a little bit. But now it's like they say it's the next slap fighting, dude. I'm, you know, and I can't take full credit for this. Obviously, was I one of the individuals involved in the overall? I think we work as a team together, as a collective. A lot of people showed up. A lot of people thought they had what it takes to make it through the first round, second, third round, for many rounds. But many were mistaken because this game isn't for the faint of heart. This game is it's a game of endurance. Mental endurance. That's right. Not just physical endurance or like spirit. You need heart for this shit. A lot of heart. And again, just to make sure the, you know, balance is kept, if you will, just to be like, because like the ladies can like queef, fellas, you know, this is just like we're thinking about you as well. That's right, we want you. Not the way like I should have probably not pointed it and like, you know, we want you, because like when you point and say we want you, there's an automatic like association with like, oh, Uncle Sam, because like when a person points at you and says, oh, we want you, automatically it's like ingrained. It's like, does Uncle Sam want me? First of all, this is we're in Canada here. Okay, there's no Uncle Sam. No Uncle Sam around anywhere to be seen. So no, none of that. And what remains is just a mutual realization that we need to come together and join forces and have fun. So yes, the ladies will come in there with their queefing capabilities. The fellas, what's the longest distance jizzed? You know what I'm saying? And we can like categorize it to what's the largest amount of unloaded jizz in one sitting or standing. Frankly, I don't really particularly like tell you how to do your job. You could be sitting, standing, lying down, it doesn't matter. What's the largest load? One load. Do you hold the world record for the largest loads? I'd like to also, somebody with the record of smallest load as well, I'd like to know, just so I can compare for myself, because I don't know how much. I don't have time to go do a whole bunch of tests individually, but if we were to like get 10 people, get 100 people, get a little group, conduct a little sample test, run a little sample, a blindfolded sample, people will be blindfolded. We won't blind people, we'll like, you know, we'll utilize blinds just to be like, oh, it's anonymous. Just hold on to your cup. No exchanging of cups in these games. You know, this could easily turn into a show. You know, because we can. Yeah, yes, we can. Together we can. That's what it is. So like, what's the smallest? You know, is there somebody that's just like, I'm not talking about you can't climax and nothing. If you're like with nothing, you can't compete with nothing. If you're just like nothing's coming out, and that's just. That could be its own subgenre category if it's about like you need to produce something. Like, even as a matter of fact, we're looking for you to produce something, but the minimal amount, like the tiniest droplet of sperm. And on the you know, opposite side of that spectrum, who is holding the world record for the largest load in one sitting? And again, these competitions are, like I said, not made for the faint of heart. These are not for, you know, don't be thinking, oh, I'm a athlete. I'm a biathlete. I play the two sports at the same time. I'm a triathlete. When it comes to athleticism, I tries anything. You know, and the list goes on and on and on. Okay, so the point is, do your stretches, do your research. Have you gone through everything in life and challenged yourself to the fullest potential, to the fullest of your capability? Did you push yourself in a F1 driving challenge? Is that what it's called? F1? Sounds right. In my heart, it sounds right. You know what I'm talking about, like fast cars. You know, fucking like, oh, we're sponsored by Mercedes or Ferrari, and we go, or like Audi or whatevs. Then we go really fast. Did you conquer that world? Fantastic. Did you get into the realm of physically challenging yourself? You know, did you grab some sort of medication and maybe stab yourself in the arm with that medication just to see your full body go numb, and then physically challenged, just fucking like plummet to the earth, and then like no one there to help you? 36, 48 hours, 72 hours you spent fucking numb, just, you know, paralysis, body, all over your body, paralysis, not moving, challenged. Have you challenged yourself physically? Have you? You know? Did you bleed from your nipples recently? Have you been bleeding from? Did you? Because if you're like, we were looking for that top fucking like, what, like the elite of the elite, fucking like the head of the cobra, as they say, the tip of the spear, head of the cobra, tip of the cack. Men and women, we want the best of the best, you know, and that's what we'll do. So this is a idea, put it on the back burner, and yes, the longest queef. Short queefs, I'm not so, you know, that's what ifs. It's just like, could even happen by accident, not a big deal. Half a second, no big deal. But long fucking, like, you know, 5-minute long queef, or against somebody who's really got the breathing. Maybe you're Lady Wim Hof, and you've fucking like perfected the art of recycled breathing, and you're breathing and queefing all at the same time. And the amazing thing with you is that if you have like a light ball of sorts, like maybe a ping pong, and if you were just like, if somebody were to like come in there and at the right moment, at the right time, once you're breathe queefing, were to place that little light ping pong ball in your area, it'll just float, because you're breathing, you're taking it in, you're pushing it out from the bottom, and it fucking right there. Very, very interesting stuff. And you could confuse people. You could tell them it's not, and you know, you could drown out the sound of the queef and the heavy breathing with a little bit of music, and just be like, I'm magnetic, fam. It's a field of, not a field of dreams, but in a sense it is a field of dreams, but it's a field of magnetics. It's energy. But then the ball itself would have to be made of metal, so it'd be heavy. You know what? Forget it. Just the sheer fact that you could make a ping pong ball levitate using queefing and Wim Hof techniques as a lady. Wim lady. You know? Write to us. Make a video. If you like to share your story, I'm interested. I'd like to know. And that's what it is, baby. We get rid of the extra. We come in with the clarity, a little bit of that claritin for your fucking like, oh, it's out. We're like big pharma. The way we tackle allergies is we make sure that, like, we're very different from big pharma in a sense, but man, we're not like big pharma at all, come to think of it. But the intentions are there, and the fact of the matter is that a lot of discrepancies happen to exist out there, and I'm just here to nip it in the bud with you guys and girls out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get a little bit of clarity. Like, how is a man to know what even is a whiteout or a blackout? All your life going about thinking you know what a whiteout or a blackout is, and discrepancies. Just fucking getting bamboozled by all sorts of terminology and shit, because you heard of blackouts, you're like, oh man, I feel like attending a blackout, just getting out there with my black kin, with my black brothers and sisters, and just having a blackout, man. We're gonna just fucking like, you think you're going to a barbecue, you think you're going to like a little fucking parade of like just, beautiful people, beautiful lovely folks, brethren and sistren, with the melanin. Going in heavy with the melanin, that's what you think. You think you're going to get a batch of melanin, heavy melanin group activities, that's a blackout. It's not. Surprise, surprise. I know it took me a long time to figure it out too, but I'm like, what is, I want to go to a blackout. Let me like, because I want to be like, at the same rate. I'm like, why is there a division? Why have a blackout and a whiteout? What's the whiteout? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, is a whiteout when my beautiful whites, my beautiful white men and brothers and sisters and women and sisters and brothers, is that like, are we going for a rally? Are we enjoying a little bit of nature together? A whiteout? What's up? No, not at all. Apparently, again, not at all. So, here I am attending different fucking parks and trying to get into like some sort of a group or a meeting where people gather. And frankly, to be honest with you, I should have known. It's kind of right on the nose with that one. It's like, oh man, because if you want people to come together, why go with like, why start with the coloring and I thought maybe bring the white, mix it and then get some sort of like gray out. We're graying out, son. We're graying out now. Or, mix all the colors: red, purple, green, orange, yellow, pink, polka dots. It's a color, brown. Mix it all together and you get this, ruined it. You should not mix all colors together when it comes to coloring. People mix it all up. Mix it all is what I said, which is why I refuse to, I refuse to attend any more blackouts or whiteouts for them. I just go fucking like, let's just all fucking like, get together. And the thing is, it's not even, a blackout is apparently like, oh, it's got something to do with like maybe a power outage. Maybe that's a blackout, or we blacked out. I'm not talking about like, you having I'm not talking about you having a day where you're just like not making good decisions. I'm not talking about you going out there on several occasions. Like, I'm not talking about you pulling a JT or Justin Trudeau going out there with like, blackface, like blackout. Not like that. It's not that. It's maybe power outages, maybe drinking your face off to the on and off, drinking your face on and off to the point where you're like, oh, I'm all blacked out. Again, I don't know why it's called a blackout. I blacked out. Yeah, you took a nap. You may have slept. Why is it called a blackout though? So again, just clarity, not a barbecue sesh. It may be associated with the power, electricity, which, electricity is light, so it should be light. It should be a light out. If we have lights out, that's what it should be called. Oh, we have a light out. And then don't even get me started with whiteout, dude, because again, I've been disappointed plenty of times showing up to events where I'm like, yes, this is gonna be a good time, man, good time. Fucking some jean shorts, shirts with like, no sleeves, just a fucking like, we're having a festival on the grass with beers and shit. Not that at all. Oh, you wrote something down on your piece of paper, here's some whiteout. What? There's a product for that? This is how you stop using it, you lose it. Because back in the day, original pen, paper days, like, original feather to parchment days, you needed whiteout. You just, a little bit of fucking like, you get busy with it and just, I don't need to get graphic with it, but if I need to get I'll get graphic with it. Back in the day, it was like you messed up, you got that, you dripped a little bit of extra ink using your feather on your parchment. Before the original whiteout, what was it? Yism, that's what it was, yism. You put a little bit of that yism on the paper or the parchment, original whiteout. Nothing to see here, folks, just a little bit of discoloration, and given time and dirt and just maybe cover it in dirt, brush it off a little bit, spit on it, and overall from afar it doesn't look like yism, but it's yism. If black light were to be flashed on top of it, wisdom was passed down, but so was DNA. And that's why a lot of people a lot of times just they stuck with oral lessons and gathering of information and also passing on it orally. You wouldn't need yism for that. You make a mistake, you'd be like, my bad, unless you wanted yism. And again, information was passed down in all sorts of ways. So I'm just putting it out there. We need to just clear things up. So if you're going out there like me in hopes of finding different groups of people to hang out with, you're like, oh, I'll attend a whiteout or a blackout. Not a thing. Not a thing. So, boys and girls, ladies and gents, I've always been fascinated with species that live underwater. The magnificent octopus is, of course, one of my favorites. The octopus, the octopi. These beautiful creatures are made up of what? A brain? They don't have it. They don't got. They're spineless. Though I'll tell you, they're not to come down like hard on them. They're spineless, but it doesn't mean that they don't have character. It doesn't mean that they're not like, they're not aggressive, they're not aggro, but they're not passive either. Don't think just because they don't have spines that they'll you could just walk all over them. They're not pushovers, all right? Might not be the king of the water jungle or wungle. That's right, wungle, water jungle, because that's what the sea and the ocean are. It's a jungle, but it's made up of water. So wungle it is, baby. A wet jungle, a wangle. That's right, wangle or wungle. Both are used. Different places, different dialects. People use it. Wungle, wangle, wet jungle, water jungle, wungle. Point is, fam, that they might not be the kings or queens, because there's other bigger, larger predators that are made up of clear spinal stitch going on with the big fish. But we're not about the other fish today. We're about the octopus today. I was just reading a little fun fact because I'm fascinated with these guys and gals. They're really super smart. They're intelligent. They can use camouflage. They can open jars using their tentacles, their beautiful tentacles. They can open jars. Ladies, are you looking for somebody to open a jar? Well, guess what? Octopus and octopi are there to help. Far too many people go living their lives without actually. Why don't we have more pet octopuses and octopi? Why don't we? Do they have to live in water? If we could gene edit that animal to live outside of water, just, emotional support animal, little octopus just oozing, bleeding ink all over you. I'm good. It's Wednesday. I got ink. I got Octa ink on me, fam. I'm good, fam. You know what I mean? Nothing's, because I'm emotionally supported by this beautiful animal with 8 arms, plus the 2 you got. Between the 2, you got 10 arms, fam. 10 arms. And he or she can camouflage into looking like you, or just blending into the atmosphere, whatever's in the background. You know what I mean? People will be looking at you and they'd be like, oh, regular person. I can, seems like, it'll just if you're walking outside, it'll camouflage into the shape of a car or a color of a car. Oh, regular person with what seems to be a portion of a car on his or her shoulder. Man, my eyes are blurry. And next thing you know, you're already gone. Was it a person with a portion of a car on his or her shoulder? Or was it a person with an octopus for emotional support? Or just for fun too, Just ever want to quit a job? To go in there and have your octopus hand in the resignation letter, It'd be hand it in, but don't hand it in. Very similar to the Turkish ice cream scoopers in Turkey, where they're like, oh, here's ice cream, I'll scream for you, and no ice cream, dude. And it'd be resignation letter for you, and then take it away, and that could go on for days. Think about that. Think about all the possibilities. But I was reading more about their mating habits, because I'm how do octopuses mate? Because I'm we get down and dirty. Are we that different in the animal kingdom? Do they get down and dirty? First of all, they're already down there. Are they dirty though? They're in water, They're not I'm not gonna say they're clean. maybe a little bit dirty, but like there's somewhere in between, a little bit clean, a little bit dirty. Murky water, some deep down inside the ocean, murky water, it's what it is, it's a mix. But their mating habits are incredible. So the male is, and that's the thing with like, we're very like, we get to use you get to use the words, you get to use the gestures, body language, eye contact, movements of the mouth, you get to fucking everything. You get to check out a person, you get to, assess situations, you get to, read, exchange text, make phone calls, write letters if it was back in the day, whatever. You get to know people through, and communication helps. But these animals that, don't quite have that verbal capability, like the top dogs right here, like us, they gotta like, everything's touch and go. Everything's touch and go. You want to make a little bit of love? We'll make love, but it's touch and go. I was reading into it, so they do make the loves, but it's trippy out there, man. It's trippy out there. Sometimes, and that's the thing with typically with the human species, you look at majority of the time, speaking for majority of the time, majority of the time, putting everything in a large group, categorizing everything in a generic bundle of generics. Generally speaking, when it comes to our mating habits, for our species, males tend to be slightly at times, maybe a little bit, taller, maybe a little bit bigger in ways. Ladies have gotten like wider hips and all that, but like typically males a little bit bigger than female. That's, there are instances, sure, where there is a lady that's 7 feet tall and her boo-boo is 5'2", licking the old vag, standing up, which is fantastic. If I could, I would too. But in my case, I probably need a lady who is 12 feet tall so I could lick the vag standing up, and that is very difficult to come by. Not saying impossible. A boy turned into an adult male, a full-grown male, adult male, is what I am, can still have dreams. And believe you me, I have dreams each and every day. Sure, I might not remember some, but the important ones I follow through with. That's the important thing. You can take that to the bank. You should probably take money to the bank, or take money from, you know what? Check it out. I've never actually gone to the bank with a dream and just be like, what have you got? Can we get your, can we have your little ID card with the numbers on it? Could you put in the PIN? I'll be like, you know what? Forget about that. What have you been doing here? I'm here with my dreams, man. Take it to the bank, see what happens. The point is, I don't even know what we're talking about, man. Octopuses, that's right. Octopuses making the love, so they're not like us. Like, there's no, like, sometimes is what I'm saying, in their realm, where we're used to dudes being slightly bigger, generally speaking, probably come with more strength physically compared to the average lady out there. And that's just fucking pure, like, math, science, physics, maybe a little bit of algebra. I'm sure there's long division in there somewhere, but the point is, octopus world different, because first of all, they're very solitary for the most part. They're like, oh, I'm just do my thing. It's a big ocean, lots of space, relatively short life. I'm gonna just like go do my thing. I'll ink out here. I'll bleed out a little bit of ink. I'll ooze a little bit of ink in this little corner. This will be my corner. Just gonna have a little bit of food, make love, and then go die. Because that's what they do. They make love, get somebody pregnant, and then they go die eventually. Very, very soon after. That's the male life of an octopus. And here's the thing. They're not like us. It could be easily a situation where the male is actually a little bit smaller than the female octopus. And sometimes older, wiser cougar octopi like to go after, or rather maybe not even after. They're just, everybody's floating in there, they're just presenting themselves. They're like, oh, look at these cougar tentacles with all these experiences under her belt. Once you come to take a look at under this hood, young ink blot, is what they'll say to the, that's just like fucking octa lingo and jargon. And sometimes, so that's what it is. So, and they're not like us, because we communicate. We're all, for the most part, like, good vibes between peoples. But the animal kingdom, it could be making love 1 second, and then maybe it's not up to your standards. Maybe it's not up to your. Maybe he didn't do a good job as you might have imagined, and it's like, oh, you're like this, like you're in your, you're a little bit older, you're a bigger lady, octopus. You might be in the middle of the sex. You might be getting, your back straightened out. And all of a sudden you'd be like, I'm not into this shit, fam. I'm just gonna turn around and eat you. I'm just gonna turn around and eat you, and maybe tear up a couple of limbs and eat you. A smaller male octopus that doesn't know where the G spot is on the female. Do they have G spots? I didn't read that much into it, but I was fascinated. So that happens. So it's not like, so a lot of times the lovemaking happens at a distance. So like the heads will be like, the fella ideally would mount on the back of the female octopus, and the third right tentacle is actually removable, adjustable to say the least. I'll tell you that one. And so what they do is, in an ideal situation, if you were to make love with an octopus, you'd want to, if you're a male, and if you're female, do the reverse of that, I'm assuming. You climb on top. You climb on top of the lady, potentially bigger lady, with more experience, with more life experience. She's basically like, she's kicking ass. She's doing life, really. She's enjoying her life. That's what it is. No judgment. But you want to climb on top. And then the third adjustable, removable right arm is where the action happens. So you're doing the sex. As the male, you would grab pockets of sperm. That's what pockets of sperm. And I don't even know what so like. And you take that third arm, and you're just at a distance, back, mounted on the back, and just at a distance, you go around, scoop, put the sperm pocket, you're mounting on the back. Here's the lady octopus, I'm mounting on the back, and here's my extra removable, adjustable fucking third arm, just fucking, and you go around, and you take a little bit of that sperm pocket, and you just rub it in there. And you just rub it in there. You stick it in there, hoping for all. And this takes hours. So hours of sperm pockets under the hood, because you got to do it because you never know. It could be we're making an hour and a half of love making. Next thing you know, she gets hungry in the middle of it. Like, enough of this. I'm just gonna turn around and eat you. So it's fascinating, and it's crazy how the males keep other males away. It is fascinating. Sometimes, again, size matters. Everything matters. Have they had food? What are they? If there's a female around, and there's one male, and then there's other males around, ideally what the male or female would typically, if they're like in the middle of like getting it on, if they're like into it, if they're like about it, if things are gonna get a little bit heated, if you will, if things are gonna get sticky, that's what they do. They find a little, I don't want to say cave, because the cave is just a little hole, a little pocket where they can like kind of be like, here's your pocket, here's just like, a couple of rocks where you can like climb in. It'd be like, it's like very similar to what the equivalent would be, maybe a motel or a hotel, or not a Holiday Inn, but maybe an Airbnb, but free of charge, which is pretty fucking dope, not gonna lie. You do what you want with the place, you leave, and the next person who comes in does their thing, leaves, and it's like, man, these guys get it. These ladies down, they get it to a certain degree. So what happens is, like, the fella, different scenarios. If there is a female, lovely, beautiful, no tits on these females, but nonetheless, they still attract the male octopus. If the male octopus sees other octopus, options on the table. What do I do, fam? I tell the lady to go in the cave. So I'm gonna handle this. All right, you puff out your chest. I'm gonna handle this with all your fucking limbs. I'm gonna handle this, baby. I'm gonna handle this. I'm your man. I'm gonna handle this. You stay back. Look like a rock. That's my girl. Whoa, where's my girl? Oh man, I'm surrounded by rocks. So it'll go down. Look like a rock. I'm just gonna be outside for a second. Option one, you could use camouflage. And they do apparently they do stripes. They do striped camouflage to just be like, regular water and rocks and algae and whatnot, and then there's nothing to see here, just regular stripes. Drive on by, fam, and then other octopus are driving by, just fucking in their lowriders, just like, alright, nothing to see here. I guess just a bunch of rocks and stripes. Nothing to see here. That's one, and that's when the male is feeling like, I'm gonna take this outside for you. Chill here. I'm gonna take it outside. That's one method. One method is if the male sees the other males and is not as big or is not as doesn't feel like it's gonna go down in his favor, gets close to the female and they both camo together. Now we're both rocks, baby. Let's just sit here. Why are we always in the rush to make the loves? You know what I mean? Man, my third right arm that is adjustable, removable, will be here all day, baby. Don't worry. Let's just camo together. Let's just look like rocks together for about, 45 minutes to about an hour until these groups of octopuses happen to go by. Because like, why do we gotta rush things? Why do we gotta rush things, baby? And that's what it is. So I learned that, and it was interesting, man. Octopuses are fascinating. If I could have one, again, if it wasn't for the lack of, they're so, they're strong, they're independent, but in some sense, they're really just like, it's fucking attention seekers. Give me all the water. I need water to be able to survive. It's like, grow up. Come sit on my shoulder. Let's just let's just drive down the highway for a second together and just have a good time. What happened to just having a good time? So that's a little bit of just octopus knowledge that I picked up that I wanted to share with you guys. And yes, if you are, we do many great things here for the animals, such as spending time with them during spring, summer, and fall. And this, God willing, if everything goes right and the underground queefing competitions and longest ejact competitions really get going, really get that, because right now it's like the little talks on the ground, little murmurs, little stories, people running around talking about it. And well, eventually, so we do things for animals. I will like to potentially one day, raise a little bit of money for the endangered animals of the world. Really, like the octopus, I'm not quite sure if they're endangered, but the fucking snow leopard for sure is. We might just hold a little bit of a queef competition for the longest queef in the world to raise a little bit of money for the snow leopards. Why not? We've done it for other animals. Why not the snow leopard is what I say. So that's my 2 cents on that matter, ladies and gents. Should we bring out the octopuses for the sheer enjoyment of having their company around, as opposed to always looking at them like food and like objectifying them, like, oh, you're just a piece of yummy calamari. Yes, that too, but also potential for companionship. Lots of potential for companionship. That's what I say. Ladies and gents, sometimes the biggest stories in the world don't get heard. Sometimes we're always looking for the give me the greatest experience. Give me the whatevs that worked out really well. What about the story? Have you heard about the story of the greatest art thief that there ever was? The greatest art thief with a handicap. That's right, with a handicap. His handicap was that he was the greatest art thief in the world. Run around all sorts of places in the world where they hold art, such as art museums and stuff, art galleries, art events such as galas, art galas. There's an art gala right there somewhere. And the greatest art thief would have an excellent time taking the art. His Achilles heel, though, was actually when it came to like cutting, because you see in the movies a lot of times they cut the paintings out really nice and like, oh, I'm gonna go around the edge, right around the edge of the old. Where's the old, oh, here's the frame, here's the edge of the frame. I'm just gonna cut straight down the edge of the frame. I got the edge of the frame, and this painting is gonna come out looking nice. Our art thief, this beautiful character, great at stealing the art, a little bit of a shaky hand, not so good with the cutting, some straight, oh man, like half the art's missing. So he get the art out. Greatest thief at never to be caught by anyone, and he always left a calling card with all his social media accounts on his calling card. Cause like you gotta get integrated into the new world, baby. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna stick to the regular business cards. No, man. People want to get to know you. People want to like. It's not even about the. It's more so about the what's behind the person, because it's like people want to get to know you essentially. So that's greatest art thief ever. But again, his Achilles heel was he's not able to cut straight and up, so he'd fuck up the painting some. But you get the painting, you get the paintings for sure. Will they be? I'm not gonna say they're gonna be like it's not gonna be the same value as if somebody like somebody who maybe had a steady hand, maybe somebody with an assistant, maybe somebody with a laser cutter, maybe somebody with a big pickup truck where you could just take the entire artwork with the frame and just chuck it in the old truck. But sometimes people are busy and you need to call the best. And if you want it stolen, you call that guy. But sometimes that guy doesn't get a movie. All because he had a little bit of a shaky hand. Maybe you never know what happens to people when they're growing up. You never know, and that doesn't mean the stories don't happen. That doesn't mean that. And I'm just saying the point of this story, really, the moral of this story is like don't let your you got a little bit of a shaky hand, you got a little bit of whatever you got. Don't let your whatever is accept you. I challenge you to accept you for who you are, and I try to do the same myself each and every, and I'm just trying to like provide more jobs. Frankly, I've seen far too many handicapped people go without jobs. In terms of why not put him right behind the seat of the steering wheel of the back of the steering wheel of the seat of the driver of the getaway car. Ever think of that? Why always go with a full able-bodied stupid person where they're just like when you're on a heist, fam, when you're on a heist for whatever heist you're on. If you have a handicapped person on your team, who's rolling through with a nice little handicap parking spot permit? Who's parking close to the entrance and exit? Think about that, fam. Think about it. And who's not going to be questioned? Think about that. Whereas if you got able-bodied Jimmy sitting in a really sporty looking car, because able-bodied Jimmy's all about the sport looking cars, the sporty looking cars that play sports. Car half a day, cricket the other half, professional darts in the evenings, just a sports car, just a car's car, that car's sus if you're on a heist. If I see Jimmy just sweating bullets near the entrance exit of the said heist, I know a heist is going down, fam. Or Jimmy's lost in the parking lot looking for able-bodied parking spots for the heist, dude. I'm gonna just drop you guys off here. I'll loop around. You don't have time to loop around, Jim. You don't have time to. What are you doing? Looping around, man. I can't park in this parking spot. It's for handicapped people. He'll say, always with the excuses, Jimmy. It's like, either show up 100% willing, 100% willing. Ability, it could come and go. I'm not too, but like you got a parking permit, you got a handicap parking permit for a handicap parking spot. You're on the crew, fam. No one's gonna look at you. And honestly, the more handicapped, the less likely anybody's gonna suspect that anything heisty is going down. Because you look at a person who is, and shame on you, because as a matter of fact, that's the judgment. Because if anything, you should be looking at every handicapped person that's parked in a handicapped spot and just giving him all the sus looks. Because if you're not, because then you're just like, oh, they're not capable of doing heist. You're sick. Maybe that's a little bit far in terms of but just what I'm trying to say is don't judge, or rather judge. But if you are gonna judge equally. Less judgment would be nice. But again, if you are, judging is good too. Sometimes you need judgment calls. Sometimes judgment calls need to be made. Last minute judgment call, able-bodied person with, sports car versus slightly less able-bodied person with a station wagon with a bad color, maybe. A station wagon with a bad, or better yet, better yet, slightly less able-bodied individual, soccer mom van. Soccer mom van, slightly less able-bodied individual, behind the steering wheel of the car seat, with the steering wheel, behind the steering, he's the driver, or rather she's the driver, and she's drooling away. She's drooling away, just drooling, and paralysis, permaparalysis all the time, throughout half the body. So no one's gonna walk out and again look at that person and be like, man, that person's up to no good. But if you weren't so judgmental, you would think that. Again, you would think that. You'd look at him straight up and down and be like, man, that half paralysis body right there with the drool could potentially be up to no good. Why don't you give him a hard time? Because normally if you saw Jimmy in the sports car just fucking like waiting with his one hand on the steering wheel near the entrance and exit, you'd be like, fam, you see it says no idling around here? You see that? You see it says no idling around? This is an American Idol where you can idle around here, man. No idling around here. You want to idle, you go to American Got Talents or Idols. Go to a place where they want your kind. This isn't time for idling around. You want to idle? What's your talent? Tap dancing? Can you limbo? Can you juggle? Do you breathe fire? Do you queef fire? Oh my God. Oh, someone should definitely queef fire. Oh my God. If only I had the ability to queef, I would definitely somehow. I'd be at the fucking circus, man, queefing fire. I'd be at the circus just fucking, instead of like, drinking the brown and spitting it out and then lighting it on fire, I'd drink the brown. I'd also take some through the nether regions, and I just fucking, I don't know how it works. I can't. I don't have that mechanism, but I would let it go. I would let it go, spew it out, and then zip with that shit right there. Or like, I don't know, any sort of really like light a match and just fucking, whew. Circus, dude, that'd be, oh. But that is perhaps, again, I can only dream to see it now. So maybe you're out there and you can, and that's how you come up to the ultimate queefing competition, ultimate long distance jizzing competition. That's how you make a name for yourself. Have you got what it's got? No. Have you got what it takes to be? Do you have the X factor? That's a show? That's still a show. I think that's still a show that we can't do that. Have you got it? What a catchy little show that. Have you got it? Have you got it? Oh, he's got it. What is it? Fire queefs. That's what it is. That's what it is. Baby boys, baby girls, it's Wednesday. Go out there and get it, whatever you're doing. I'm sending you a lot of love and support. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. And together we're journeying along, baby. Life is a long life journey, and we are just learning along the way, having a blast. And again, you can find these videos Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays on Instagram. Follow me on there if you like. And also check out the YouTubes. Be sure to talk about it with your family, with your friends, with your annoying fucking boss. Next time he brings up the stats and shows you a pie chart, you just say, shut the fuck up for a second and take a look at this show. And not saying you'll be promoted, but you'll be closer with your boss. I'll say that. And listen, fam, if should you happen to lose your job because you told your boss to shut the fuck up and just like forget about the charts for a second, focus on this video. I'm not saying how to live your life, but everything does happen for a reason. Sometimes. In situations where it's easily, explained certain things, you're like, yes, that makes sense. Other circumstances where some things happen, you're like, man, why does that, why does that, poor child, what happened there? Not easily explained. So when things do happen for a reason, and you're like, where can we support the show financially, fiscally, because that's the type of fella or lady that I am, you are, and where can you give back if you'd like to? Patreon.com/RobSadri. Otherwise, enjoy the show. kick butt in your lives. I'll be back here again on Friday, and it's a brand new month, baby. It's March, and we're just marching on forward. Rock and roll, baby. I'll see you guys back here very soon. Take care of yourselves. Be good to yourselves. Sending you love. Talk soon. Peace out.